guys, to episode 27 of the Kinda Nice podcast. Today we are joined by Nathan Burkhalter again, and then lovely co-host Daniel Gill. Say what's up, boys.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
How y'all doing? Good to be here. Good to be back. After taking a few week hiatus, this is my second week in a row back, and
I thought it was the third.
Nah, dude.
It's the second?
I think it's just my second. Yeah, because it's timer is flying. Like, can you believe Halloween is this what is it? This upcoming weekend?
Yeah,
like this next weekend. Yeah.
October has gone really fast.
This
for no
year
reason.
has gone so fast.
I don't know
now,
about the
granted,
year.
it hasn't been without its many crazy, world changes.
Yeah.
But still, it's gone by super, super fast, in my opinion. I feel like I've blinked in the world. The
Especially
year's gone.
for how the world has slowed down. It still feels like it's gone by really quickly because we've been locked down a little bit more than normal life. Mm-hmm. It still has blazed by. We got what, 70 days left in the year?
Oh my gosh! When you say it like that,
Yeah.
that's
Why are you counting, bro? Who counts like that?
Bro, I'm trying to be intentional.
Come
I
on,
was gonna
bro.
say Nate is the kind of person.
You're one of
that would
those
count
guys
like
with
that.
those what's it called?
Well, I
I read a book.
procrastinate.
What's I think it's Marcus Aurelius. What is his philosophy stuff? It's Stoics.
Stoics, yeah.
Stoicism. They have like calendars, and it's literally just the weeks in your life, and it like fits on this like thing, and they just color them out so you can like
Yeah.
visibly see like what's left. And
My
you're
friends have those.
Oh, God.
Well, y'all are my friends too.
Yeah.
You guys don't.
That's such a
What are
dark.
we,
That's such a
chopped
dark
liver?
concept
My
to me.
better friends.
Oh man,
Yeah.
My darker minded friends. I don't know. So
dark
and
concept. You think?
A little bit, because you
it's-
wake up and you're like, oh, I like this chunk of my life is gone. Like this is the only. But the thing is, you don't know what you have left. You
Yeah,
don't
the
know if,
point
like,
is to keep you-
tomorrow's not promised.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the point is to keep you more intentional instead
Absolutely,
of just
yeah.
drifting in life, realizing, hey, for now, we've only got 70 days left in the year. Are we
Mm-hmm. What
just
are we
going to
gonna
be
do about
like,
it?
oh, wow, that 70 days just disappeared because I watched too much Netflix? Or
shots fired.
what was I looking at accomplishing this year? Or what was I wanting to do? And I may
What
sound
can
like,
still be done?
And what can still be done. And I procrastinate. So when I see the deadline approaching, it helps me get more motivated and ambitious instead of going, well, I didn't do all the things I wanted to do in 2021.
Here's
I
another
missed
week
it.
just gone by.
I'll just wait until I'll set some goals for the new year.
Wow.
Blah,
and
blah,
some
blah.
people are
I
like
like
that.
the concept. Yeah, I know what it does. I like the concept, but it's not for me.
I think ultimately you will have people on both sides,
Yeah.
or people who are glass half empty, people who are glass half full.
Yeah.
Those who look at a calendar like that and say, yes, time to get after it because I have X amount of weeks. And those who are like, well, I only have this much time left.
Yeah.
Like, might as well give up while I'm
No,
behind.
I don't think you're gonna buy the calendar and do that. I think the people who buy the calendar are the people who like feel like they need a reminder to like do stuff every day, right?
Yeah.
But I'm more on the thing
You
of like
already-
waking up and being
Yeah.
like more grateful for another day and like knowing that tomorrow's not promised. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
Oh, for sure. I'm thankful for each day, and I don't get too far ahead. But kid, you're better about your structure and your discipline on day in and
Sometimes.
day out.
Yeah, you're so great,
Sometimes.
kid.
I mean, more than
Most days.
maybe
Perfect
your
role
average
model.
person. And I tend to be a little bit more in the procrastination until I have like, I see
Yeah.
a deadline approaching. Oh, and it keeps me more motivated.
Yeah, Nate hasn't done much with his life.
They said so much. Yeah, I'm like zero. I'm 0 to 100. I'm either like if I'm
All
getting
in
something
or
done,
getting out of it fast.
like I'm just like building the studio. It was like every day I was just like waking up.
Did
and,
you did it in like 3 days?
Yeah, I go hard, right?
That's awesome.
But if I'm not doing it, then like Friday, like I didn't really have anything to do, so I kind of just played video games, played some volleyball. It was a real chill day.
Yeah.
It wasn't really productive, but I'm in like a waiting zone to where like I'm just waiting on like some stuff back for certain opportunities. So there's not much for me to do.
It's a good habit if you have like you see something, you just get after it and go.
Yeah.
But I lost that ability when I started working these engineering projects that would take
really?
18 months to finish. And so no matter how hard you grinded on it for a month, you're still not really going to move the needle forward. You have to be slow and consistent, and you're managing like 4 things at once. And so in a good and a bad way, I started developing where I couldn't go all in on something like, oh, I want to do this podcast stream. I want
Yeah.
to build this out. I couldn't afford to lose 4 days to dedicate to that. So it's like, okay, I can give like 4 hours to that. And so it started making me like break up my workflow. And then it became a certain habit where I don't feel like I have the opportunity to say for the next week, I'm going all in on that. But I do now because I've quit my corporate job and I control my time.
You're back to it.
But it's a different mindset based off of where you are in life. So people, you just have to know yourself.
Yeah,
I know
and
I
do
get
you
motivated
have more of a predisposition to one way or the other?
now.
Or does it just depend on the season of life, like what needs to be done and what time frames you're allotted?
Yeah, it's more seasonal for me now.
Okay.
So, but I do well with like setting a goal that's not so far away and so big that it overwhelms me, and I just start procrastinating. So when I see something a month away, like Grant and I, we just signed up for this High Rocks competition in Dallas.
The one that you guys did like earlier this year?
Yeah, it was like back in the spring.
How great was that one the first
That
time?
thing worked me.
What place did you get again?
Why are you doing him like this, bro? Why are you doing him like this, bro? I apologize for Daniel's aggressive nature towards you today.
How about we extend the offer? We're going to extend the
sorry.
offer that you're going to come join us for this. And then I'll let you talk some.
Daniel would get smoked in a high
Dude,
rocks.
I'll be the very first person to admit that is not in my wheelhouse.
Not his lane at all.
It's not my lane.
It's also not my lane, and I received the invite to go in and push myself and be uncomfortable. And I made a goal in the pro division to not be last place. Yeah, and I wasn't last place.
There you
yes,
go.
sir.
We
take those.
we take those.
Barely got it. But
barely.
So Daniel,
Nate Burkhalter, everybody.
Daniel, November 20th, I'm going to make an official invite for you to come join myself, Grant, my friend Steve.
Wait, November 20th this year?
Yes.
Oh, he's got a thing.
I'll be in Orlando. I'll be in Orlando with RJ Roman at the big Orlando event that he's doing at his gym.
Oh, cool. When are you free, before or after?
Nah, dude, I'm
Yeah,
not.
I didn't think so. Because
I got Caleb Bergstrom's wedding a
cool.
week or two prior to that.
I anticipated this, and so I just picked an arbitrary date that wasn't the one we're doing.
No.
Just to make you committed to that one.
This guy's playing
So
chess. You're
now-
playing checkers,
Oh
bro.
no.
So now I know that the
I've been
actual
had.
date, which I will lock you into at another place, is
This guy's
available
playing
on your
3D
schedule.
chess over here.
Oh, what's
no.
that? Abby just responded.
No,
yes,
no.
Daniel and I are available on said date. Good.
Well, if my wife said it, then I'm
Got him.
fully committed
Carry
to
on. I know the process, Daniel.
Gosh, dog.
I've known you too long.
it. You got me, man.
You wanna tell the story about what happened to you last night, Nate?
Last night?
What happened last night?
Bro, come on, man. Think.
Well, that crazy?
He said,
Oh, that was crazy.
That crazy? You don't even remember it?
Pretty crazy.
Well, it lacked context for a second. So I was at a concert, which was a big deal because it's my favorite band.
Say it
but that's
wasn't
not
Andy
the story. Need to Breathe. Need to Breathe was playing last night.
Radical.
I like them.
Nice.
I like
Dude,
That's
they're
my
good.
my
brother.
favorite band.
Didn't you? Should I even say this? You want me to
Don't
say
say
it?
it.
Yeah,
You
say it.
Nate dated the lead singer, like the lead guitarist, his wife now.
Yeah, so
now wife.
even worse than that. More painful to me.
Oh God.
I've never told this publicly. So a girl I started dating back in 2014 from California, we get serious. She moved to Houston to be closer to me as our relationship is growing. I introduced her to my favorite band called Need to Breathe.
Oh no, you introduced her to that.
She was a reporter, and as a favor / surprise for me, she got an interview with them backstage and brought me back there so I would get to meet them as she interviews
crazy.
them.
Aw, well, that's
There's
sweet
four.
of her.
There's 4 guys in the band. It was sweet of her, and it was intentional.
Doesn't seem like
to
it
be a
was
good
like
gift.
ill-intentional.
He was like
initially.
crying.
It was to be a good gift. All right. It used to be painful for me. All right. So we were in a good spot.
We've all been there.
No, we haven't, Daniel. You have not been there. You don't even know what's going to happen yet. But
Oh,
you have
you're
not
right.
been
I don't
there.
think I've heard this
have not
details
been
of
there.
the story. Like, ooh.
So I was, really falling for this girl. We were growing closer. Now I had a couple of concerns in our relationship. As we get to the place of this concert, we were both starting to think, I don't know if we're 100% right for each other. Different reasons. Those are more personal. So as we finish up the date and the concert, she meets the band. We both meet the band, and she had a media pass. She gets to be in the front line of the concert, and so made herself very visible. And as the band's playing, and we had met them before and afterwards, they kind of remembered her. I guess both of us, but more so her. And then her and I break up 6 weeks later. Oh. And mostly on me.
Okay.
So it wasn't like she just bailed because she met this other guy.
Okay.
It was mostly me.
Wow. A lot of people wouldn't say things like that or admit to anything like that.
What do you mean?
That makes it better,
That's
bro.
it.
What?
Most people are like, oh, yeah, it's all their fault.
Imagine,
like, all on
no,
them.
because if it was her and then she bailed on him for the Need to Breathe guy, that'd be worse.
I know.
bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm saying it's
independent of the concert and her or us meeting my favorite band that I introduced her to.
Yeah.
We were kind of on a place of like, I had some things. Hey, I don't know that this is going to work for us. Again, I'm keeping this very generic. And she was kind of like, okay, well, if this is the way it's going to be, then it's the way it's going to be. I was hoping that if we did take a break, she was going to make some changes in her life and we'd get back together. Because I foresaw like marriage potential.
okay.
And we had this breakup, and then a friend hits me up like a month later. They're like, hey, your ex is now dating that guy from Need to Breathe. There was one guy in the band that was still single. The other 3. It was like a knife. And so in all of my friend groups in Houston, I brought her into all of our
I was
friends.
one of those friend groups.
Yeah. And then everyone loves Need to Breathe.
Oh, you met
so they're
her?
like,
Oh, I met her a few times.
Did I meet her?
all of the,
I don't think I met her.
everyone in my community loved Need to Breathe. And they're like, wait, she knows she's dating the guy from Need to Breathe. We get to meet Need to Breathe. So they all were like stoked that they're together, Not that meant they can't be my friend anymore, but it was tough.
You usually
it was
choose
actually
one side or the other.
Yeah.
I guess
Unfortunately,
so.
I don't think that's right, but unfortunately, people do usually choose one side or the other.
If people made the choice, then I still had a lot of my good friends.
Did you see her at the concert at all or no?
No, I didn't see her.
Last night you didn't?
My friends are still friends with her. Like my roommate got several tickets from her. She was there.
Oh, yeah.
So she still travels with the band and she's doing some cool stuff.
That's
like
great that they can do that together as a married couple because
I'm happy for them. I'm happy for the friends I have that are still friends with her. Like we're all good. I'm happy for her.
Everybody's better off.
It was very tough for me for quite a while.
She's gonna ruin my favorite band.
That was that was my coping mechanism. That band was like music to my soul. And then I'm listening to it and I'm going, all I can do is just see this guy singing at me. Smiling. He's like, I got your girl now.
Oh no.
No, it wasn't exactly like that. But
how have you gotten through that?
Just like
we all go through breakups like that.
Any other breakup
down, bro.
I had to remind myself. I would see myself getting like angry, bitter, frustrated, resentful.
A lot of people do.
Even though we had a good relationship and there wasn't some bad thing she did to me.
Yeah.
But we did break up and I had hopes that it would come back together as we made some changes in her life. So I had to just constantly remind myself, hey, I forgive her even if there's nothing that she's done inherently wrong to me.
Okay.
I have to break through bitterness because you can kind of start feeling bitter towards things.
Yeah. And even if you just say no once, you can wake up the next day and
so it's like it was in waves of like seasons. First it was like every day of just like, hey, I'm not angry, I'm not mad, I forgive. It's gonna be okay. Yeah. But I would get depressed at times.
Yeah.
And then every
You're
time
human.
I hear my favorite band, former favorite band, just like, dang, I can't enjoy that as much anymore. And so I did go through some seasons of depression. My job eventually sent me overseas to Africa. Which was
a good distraction.
Good. It was good to unplug.
That's a real good distraction,
especially with
there.
the community that we were still pretty heavily involved in. I was like still seeing her at church all the time.
That's rough.
Yeah, that was rough.
Man.
But back to the story of last night.
So last night, all right. So
he went from the band.
The story isn't about the concert, but I did go to this concert, which was a rabbit trail. I'm coming back home. I live in the Heights in Houston, and I'm in this townhouse.
Shout out the Heights,
Houston Heights, HCX. So we're next to this park, and every once in a while at night, after the park next door has a basketball court and a pavilion with lights on it. And usually those lights cut out like 9, 10 o'clock. You've seen it before.
Yeah, I've seen them. I've been there.
And when you're driving, when you get off the interstate to go into the entrance to my neighborhood, it looks like a feeder road. So if you're listening and you're imagining, when you get off the interstate in the city, you can kind of have these feeder roads where you have your on ramps and off ramps to get onto the interstate. And when you're on that feeder road, usually there's like a stoplight.
Although this particular one,
actually dead ends.
Yeah,
it's a hard dead end and a 90-degree turn. And people without knowing the neighborhood think they're getting on a feeder road to go maybe a mile down the road to maybe see another light or to get on the interstate, the freeway. So that sometimes they're cruising, and late at night, what happens usually once a week, someone's drunk, it's late, they're not paying attention, and they start speeding up on this feeder road, and it gets kind of dark where the entrance to our neighborhood is.
It's a very sharp turn.
And it's a 90-degree turn, and it just like the road disappears, and there's like a 6-foot ledge, which is a concrete curve.
Yeah.
And then 20 feet later, there's another little concrete curve, and then you're under the pavilion. And that pavilion has these giant I don't know if they're concrete or metal, probably metal post that supports the entire pavilion up. So usually once a week, we're sitting in the house, late at night watching a movie, and you hear, and then you look out the window and you see, I've seen multiple things. Sometimes a car wrapped around the pavilion pole. I've seen cars like cruising. They made it through the basketball court, which is concrete, into the park, which is grass, and just like someone's cutting a big donut.
That's the best way to do it.
And when they're drunk, when they, instead of stopping and getting out and evaluating things, they just keep driving and they try to run away.
No.
But they blow out their tires and their rims every time. So it's just like running on flats. And I've seen people like drive past our house, rims busted, totally on flats. Just I look out the window and they're just cruising away because they know if they stop, they're going to get arrested. So it happens frequently, and it's minimal, as in either a tire gets blown out or 4 tires blown out, or it's on the high side, which last night was crazy. So after the concert, we're back at the house around midnight. I'm getting in bed. It's probably at 1:30 by the time I'm in bed. I'm laying there, about to go to sleep, and I hear and just this massive, like I felt the shake.
Oh wow!
Because
your house is like
probably
is your house the
close,
first one?
Yeah, the first
on the
one.
corner.
So when you're on our rooftop balcony, you look out and we're next to the park. We're looking down at it. So we're probably
so that's how close you guys
like
are.
100 yards from where this thing hit.
Wow!
And I felt the shake and I heard the noise. I was like, "Whoa, that's serious." I know that's a wreck now because I thought someone in my house had just dropped something off the shelf, like a massive.
Oh yeah.
But I knew, okay, everyone's asleep, so it's got to be a car wreck. So I hop out of my bed, go into my bathroom where I can look out the window, and I see what looks like a bonfire going on in the middle of the pavilion, and it's dark outside. Wow. So I just see this flame burning in the middle of the basketball court. And again, we're about 100 yards away. It's dark. I'm like, what in the world? I thought I'd see a car strung out there. But as I look, I see this fire just going. I'm like, did someone prank something? Like, did some kids set a fire? I have a fire out in the middle of this thing. What is going on? I wait about 15 seconds and I'm filming it. And then after that, like a car turns around that same corner. And as they're turning, their lights hit what I now know to be a car wrapped around a pole. Oh, and they stop, they hit the brakes, they put their brights on, and I see this car just like wrapped around a pole. I was like, oh, snap. So I immediately like throw on a pair of pants and some sandals, take off out there. And me and like 4 other neighbors walk up and we see this car wrapped around this steel pole. So this person, whoever was in there, had to have hit this thing at like 70 miles an hour, dead stop. Wow. The engine came out and was about 20 yards away and it was still on fire. And so crazy. There's oil and gas just burning this engine. And then I look about 20 yards past that and there's the transmission. This car disintegrated. And so me and the other guys like look at each other and we're like, is there someone still in that thing? Are they dead? Like, oh my gosh. And did you call 911? Yeah, I already called 911. Okay. So we're checking. So I got my phone on my light and I'm walking up to the car, and on all 4 windows, it had airbags that have deployed. So you couldn't see into them. And the front windshield was shattered, but it was still intact. So you couldn't see into it. So I'm going, I don't know if someone in there, there's gotta be someone in there. Are they dead? They're dead. They've gotta be dead. Man, if I pull this door open, are they gonna fall out? What if they have a broken neck? Is that gonna hurt them? How do I handle? I had CPR training, but that was 5 years ago. What am I gonna do? Yeah. Oh man. And then I heard a rip rip in a fire truck, which we have a fire station. Quick, huh? They got there pretty quick. The fire station's just around the corner. And so I saw the truck and the lights, and it took them another 20 seconds to kind of get there. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait because I don't know if I can make this situation worse.
Yeah.
So they pull up and they're like, hey, where's the person? Have you seen this? I was like, y'all guys, you got to get over here really quick. Open this door. So he realizes some person's
just the severity of the
still
situation.
in there. And I was like, they may be dead. So now there's like 20 people gathered, and it's, 1:45 in the morning. Oh. The first fireman walks up. He opens the door, like kind of tears away the airbag that was sitting there.
They were able to open it out. They didn't have to like cut it out.
No, they just opened the door. Like the side of the car didn't really mess up, but the front, it smashed it all the way into the firewall. And so it bent in. The engine was gone, and it wrapped it around. So if she was sitting there, it started to pinch in. It was a female. It pinched in around her a little bit, but as the door opened, she wakes up. She's like, She looks out, big black eye. Everything else looked normal. And she goes, where am I?
No.
Had no idea. And she starts to get out. The fireman helps her out, and I'm watching her. She just kind of like, she was drunk, but like didn't know where she was and what had happened. And they walk her over to a park bench. And all 20 of us sitting over here watching from the side are like, oh my God, how is she still alive? It was shocking. We all thought whoever was in there was going to be dead. So they sit her down, and the tow trucks come, the police come, and everyone's just shocked. Like, oh my gosh, every person would come up and go, oh no, fatality. And we're like, no, she's over there. She looks okay. And they walked her to the ambulance.
Was she the only one in the car?
Yeah. Now the scary part and then the relieving part was there was 2 kids' car seats in the back of the car, but there were no kids there. So whatever the situation, like she didn't have her kids with her.
Yeah.
But someone said she was 25. It was pretty scary. So that wrapped up at like 3 a.m. in the morning. And
did you stay there the whole time?
I stayed there for a while.
Wow.
Probably till about 2:45. There was chaos. I mean, parts for 50 yards, this huge radius. So I was walking out further in the grass. There was a light fixture like 40 yards away from the car.
What kind of car was she driving?
I don't know.
Okay, you couldn't tell at that point.
It was gray 4-door, probably at least 2018 model or newer.
Wow.
Really good safety security.
Yeah. Wow.
Let that be a lesson, boys and girls. Do not drink and drive.
Do not.
It's bad.
And equally as bad as texting. Like, I think
the same thing could happen.
Because especially in this situation, that she was drunk, but other people, you think you kind of, whatever it is, that's true. But you think, hey, I kind of know this road, and I've got another 1 minute to cruise, and you start looking down your phone real quick, checking a few things. In this case, people, they think they're on a normal service road, so they take off and kind of assume they can speed up to about 60 or 70.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, as they glance down at their phone,
a hard turn.
Something else, boom, 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 and they smash a few things, and they look up, and they're in this field.
Yeah.
Or in this
basketball I can see,
court.
like, especially with that, like, how it's set up, how that could happen, like, if you don't know.
Yeah,
because it really
does
look
look
like
any unfamiliar territory or on any unfamiliar roads.
Because there is no feeder there. You have to get on. Right?
It forces you into the
it's either you get on or there's no feeder.
Yeah.
So I know exactly like why that would happen.
Yeah, it's
a weekly occurrence or like a bi-weekly occurrence. Though? That is crazy.
We don't always know, but
they should like do something. Like,
Yeah, I feel like if that's
put on
that
some
normal,
big like, hey bro, this isn't a feeder.
well, they did do something. They put a fire department right there by it.
so that there's different times when it happens. We hear it, and then you look out and you'll see someone just driving away.
Yeah.
Another time, we wake up one Sunday morning or Saturday morning, and there's a car just sitting out there in the middle of the basketball court. Rims and tires totally blown out, engines kind of jacked up. And when I walked out there, and there's parts kind of strewn around. So someone did the same thing, but they didn't hit the pole. So it just kind of destroyed their tires, and the car couldn't drive away. So they popped off their both license plates in the front and the back and their VIN and just left. And so they had to have been drunk.
Yeah.
And they knew if the cops showed up, then they would have gotten arrested. So
It's
they
got to be drunk and like already a criminal. Right? You don't know to do that.
They scrubbed
unless
the
you know
car.
it's good.
And then just,
my God.
there's a little footbridge right there. They probably walked across the footbridge across the interstate and then called a ride or an Uber or a friend.
I don't think the average like person would know to like scrub your VIN.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Where is that even
watched-
located?
It's on your top left part of your dash. It's like a
Well, you know that,
big
bud.
with two hoods. I've worked
yeah.
on cars a lot,
Oh, where's that going?
but I've watched a lot of TV shows as well.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
you
And
never
that
know.
all happened last night.
Well, the
that
story I
story?
just described happened last night. Other times, in months past, there's been a car just sitting out there in the morning. You're like, what in the world?
Wow.
Call the sheriff's department, and
That's
police.
crazy.
That's a little
So,
crazy.
A day in the life of that neighborhood. Now it's cleaned up, but 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it kind of formed, and 10 years ago is when it cleaned up. They used to have a lot of gang shootouts in that spot. So my neighbor across the street is from Mexico. He and his wife moved in 20 years ago, and they have 4 daughters.
Oh, wow.
And they're awesome. And my neighbor, he doesn't speak any English. And he knows me from Exathlon. So he's like, gringo.
Oh,
so he has me over
nice.
for dinner, and I hang out with his family. His daughters all speak English. They speak English and Spanish, but they were saying, hey, when we were younger, there would be gun shootouts, and we'd have to get in the bathtub, which was like steel. And we'd get in there.
The like little house right there. Like
if you're looking on the, like across the street from me, you have the newer townhouses. Then you got the one,
There's
or
like a little
2
sketch
houses.
house?
Yeah, sketch.
Yeah.
They're like one story. They've been there for 30, 40 years. They still live there. And he's like, his wife passed away 5 years ago. And he's like, I'm never selling this house. But that property's now worth $2 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he won't sell it. But contractors want to come in and buy it, put townhouses like my house.
Yeah.
So he's keeping it for that. But he's like, I remember back when he's telling me this through, he's kind of Spanglish, so I understand some of it. He's like, we used to have these gang shootouts. He's like, and the gang members respected me because I was an older guy. And it was like a Colombian drug cartel and a Mexican drug cartel, and then like one of the U.S. gangs. And they'd all have like rival stuff there. Crazy. So now our neighborhood is cleaned up a little bit more. And now I have a next door neighbor who owns the Aston Martin dealership.
Dang.
Grant went with him last night
To the opera?
Yeah.
No way.
And like a nice car too.
Yeah,
I don't know
he's
what
got
they're
this
doing.
new Aston Martin, kind of a baby blue.
Yeah, I think sick.
I don't know what the model is.
Ooh.
It was clean though.
That was big, nice.
Wow.
So, nice.
Another day in the life in
Another day in the life.
Houston
That's-
Heights or Western Heights.
Yeah, we played a little volleyball today. That's how honestly the only reason he came down. Well, no, the reason he came to play volleyball was for the podcast. I was like,
Get that
how
clear.
can I?
Yes.
How can I get Nate to come play some volleyball? I was like, I'll rope him in with the podcast.
Hey, whatever works.
good.
We love Nate here.
Yeah, it was good.
It was a good strategy. Kid
It
knows me.
was.
Works
Started
every
like
time.
meet more and more good players over there. It's getting real good.
It was fun.
Yeah.
This new place is impressive.
It's so apparently it's an ex AVP player. AVP is like the pro league for like beach ball.
Okay.
But he owns the place. I didn't know that. But yeah, he made it like super sick. There's like 10 courts, lights. All the courts are super like nice, well
And
maintained.
There's all these pro bean bag toss. What's the game?
Rocky knows all about that.
What's that game
Cornhole.
called?
Cornhole.
Cornhole, yeah.
Come on,
This
guys.
guy-
Cornhole.
This guy made me play in the league. Like it's I don't know. It's like was it Sunday?
These dudes had jerseys on. I mean, full on.
Sunday
hey,
or Saturday?
hey.
I get like an
Don't knock it
early.
till you try it, Nate.
What time? I
have
get
tried
an
it.
early call
we
from
did it
Rocky.
Exathlon.
Oh, then you can knock it all you want.
So the cornhole leagues, rednecks. That's all it is. I like it was Saturday.
Yeah.
Rocky calls me and he's like, "Hey, bro, what are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm like editing this podcast and doing some stuff." And he's like, "Hey, I need you right now. You're my teammate. We're up in like 20 minutes. Cornhole tournament."
Cornhole tournament.
And I was just like, you know what? All right, I'll show up. So I show up. It's the most redneck thing I've ever been to. It's literally just like
Business
cornhole,
up front, party in the back.
cornhole type
mullets.
people. Not all mullets, but it's
Not all
very
mullets?
it's like it's that demographic, right? So we play, and like at first I'm like I just jacked up my thumb pretty bad playing volleyball, so I was like, this isn't gonna be great. But I mean, it's a bag throw. How hard could it be? But these things are pretty far, man. I didn't expect it to be that hard. So I think we win like the first game. Then we get smoked the second game. And then we get smoked the third game. And I was just like, why'd you invite me, bro?
You have to have the motion perfected.
Yeah.
It's the same repetition.
The muscle memory type thing, yeah.
Once you nail it, then those rednecks get really confident.
Yeah. Some of them are freaking like amazing at it. That's all they do.
They can just
whole bag.
Yep.
Dude, if your hand-eye coordination is that good, more power to you.
I don't know why I like did it, but after I got home, I was like, let me look up a video of it, and I saw like the
strategy.
No, straight up just like the
Technique.
national finals or something, like tournaments.
They're like 50
These guys
yards
are just
away.
going back and forth and just sinking every single shot. It's dumb. It's like
Wow.
make it harder. Like they're literally going
like
back and
add
forth.
some
It's like
obstacles to
darts.
that mess.
Once they get
Hole
really
for
good
hole.
at darts, it's just like boom, bullseye.
Yeah.
They can throw it every time.
Wow.
It's crazy. So I was like, this was fun, but maybe like a retirement sport for me.
What's crazy is that becomes like a professional league now. I've seen stuff like that televised.
Yeah, no, it was. This was televised. Yeah.
This one was televised? Wait, were you on TV?
No. Like the one I watched, like the pro league. is
Oh,
televised.
can you
imagine
There's
getting
people in the stadium
signed
like watching it. I'm
for-
like, that's
Bro.
crazy,
Some signed contract as a pro.
bro. They probably get paid more than us.
I'm not hating on him, but it's kind of comical.
Pro beanbag thrower.
Bro,
The
yeah.
bags he had were really nice. They were like, they're probably expensive.
Hand stitched.
They were sick. They have a little side with like a different fabric so that like when it catches the board,
Texture
it's a little
sticks,
grippy.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
They
And
flip
you
it
can
based off of what
determine
they
where
want.
how it lands.
Yeah.
Wow.
You have to put a little spin on it so it
Such
stays.
precision.
It stabilizes.
It really
in the
does.
air.
You can get into it. I'm not into it, but you could.
Yeah.
Get
I'm
into
not
it.
into it, but I could see the appeal.
There's a lot of different ways you can throw a beanbag.
It really is.
I have a trophy from Exatlon because of beanbags.
That's
you
right.
go.
That's all they
There
did
you
is throw
go.
beanbags
Well,
and stuff.
we
You'd
had-
probably be real good, huh?
You had the ring toss
No, but
and
we
stuff.
had 25 different projectiles.
Okay.
But now you're
And then they
just
would mix it up.
amazing.
So like with the beanbags, you have to do like underhand toss. You had to do a power throw. You had
Yeah.
to do a precision throw. It just depended on the day. And then other days was a basketball, a frisbee.
I thought about going overhand a couple times. Not the move.
Oh, yeah, no.
I never did it, but I thought about it, and I was like, I'm probably just gonna hit
It's all about
somebody.
the arch. You gotta have the arch. You gotta have the right spin. You want
Yeah,
it to.
you got to check the air, the wind.
The texture of the bag. If the board's a little dusty, it'll slide a little more. You can really get into it.
Really
That's when
get
you come
into
in
it.
with a higher arch, it won't slide as much. If you want to knock their
Dropping
other bag
bombs,
off,
yeah.
You got to shoot it a little bit more of a straight angle and skid.
You should have called
you
Nate. I don't know
angle
why
it?
you called me.
Por qué no, hermano?
Okay, no.
Nate, I need you. I
need
know
you.
you're real good at throwing stuff.
But you also know I don't want to drive 45 minutes to come.
That's true. We out here.
No, he's in there.
But hey, man, I can get back in my redneck days. I'll tell you what.
He would have fit way more in than me.
You would have.
I got my old John Deere hat.
We'll give you 2 weeks notice so you can grow out your beard really long.
They'll respect me now. I'll fit right in. You won't even know it.
Just walk up with your Exatlon trophy, set that down. They're like, what is that for? And you're like,
Then they're
guess,
gonna be
guess what it's for.
really proud to beat me. Then
Oh no!
Oh, the
kids took a loss.
chicks?
say that again.
They were better than the dudes we played against.
Dude, I feel like some chicks have crazy
It's
good
throwing
hand-eye
beanbags,
coordination.
bro. Hey, you don't have a mic, bro.
Oh,
Well, hey, I mean, if our ninja careers are over, then maybe we've got to think about a new opportunity.
Beanbag throwing.
Beanbag.
And those guys aren't going to kick us out for.
Oh, no, I know what Rocky was going to say. The chick I was going against had like a broken foot, like a knee brace on. But I was like, bro, she's throwing a beanbag. How is that?
throwing a
It doesn't hinder her at all. If anything, I was more hindered with a jacked up thumb.
Oh no!
What if she was just
Knee
sandbagging it? What if she like put that on to make us feel bad? So that you know what I mean? She's like, I'm gonna put on this boot I had in 5th grade, and they'll feel bad for me and like throw it. Strategy, man.
Good strategy. You got to get in their head, especially in a game like that.
I suppose if you're sexist, that's a good strategy.
Like I treat everybody the
I'm
same.
like, if I'm throwing a bag in a hole, I'm treating everybody the same.
That's what I said. I was like, it doesn't matter, bro. Oh man, beanbag throwing.
Daniel
Wow.
has no mercy.
None.
Good.
Not a
Get
shred.
that killer instinct.
What? I was gonna. Actually, no. We'll get into that later.
How much later?
How much later? Oh, you know,
Because it's
gotta
already
go?
late.
Oh, you gotta go soon.
we have a while.
We're only 30 minutes in.
Whoa.
Okay. You got
Dude,
20,
you guys 20? All right.
20, 25?
So Ninja Warrior, eh? It's a good year to be alive. Season 14's coming up. Applications just opened up.
Every year is a good year to be alive.
True.
Every day is a good day to be
Every
alive.
minute is a good minute to be alive, right?
Right?
So
Season 14 is it just they just opened up application. It looks like like yesterday, day before that.
Yeah, I think it was a day or two ago. I heard a rumor that it was about to be released.
Yeah.
I'm going
The
to
deadline is December. Rocky, if I do this, can you see it or no? Oh, my bad. Like if you pan with the camera, is that good enough? If not, I'll just not do it like that. Yeah, I can kind of see that. But yeah, just pan back to us. This is more for Nate and Daniel. So application deadline is December 10th by 11:59 p.m.
You know, Nate is gonna be.
They're big strict on that. If you, no, I'm playing.
No,
Nate literally applies like late every time. It's crazy.
I started off, I missed it by an hour, and then the next year I missed it by like 4 hours, and then I missed
Next
it
thing
by
you know,
a
it's
day,
2
and then
weeks.
it was like, then I had like,
Did
hey,
you guys
can I
see the article by A&W Nation talking about, you know, one of the main producers was talking about going through the process of going through videos, and she said that like 90% of the applications are done within the last like few days.
Yeah, no surprise.
It's like,
yeah.
oh my gosh. And I've been part of that 90% for many years. I will not lie about that.
Yeah.
But the same article, you can go back and look at A&W Nation, but the same article was talking about how, you know, some of the first people that get their audition videos sent in are the ones that get any sort of response if they're like, hey, we like you, but can you change this or that about your video? Mm-hmm. So if you are wanting to compete,
That's for Slate later. Keep going.
so if you are wanting to compete, and this is maybe your first time submitting a video for Ninja Warrior, the sooner you get your video in with enough time, you're much more likely to, if they like you and they you know want to give you some critiques on saying, hey, fix this, hey, do this, we'd like to, you know, we're thinking about it, no guarantees, but change this, that, or the other. The earlier you get your video in, the more likely you are to possibly get some
I can
feedback.
see that.
Yeah, that's a big thing. And what Daniel's saying about whether they like it and want to help critique you, before they propose.
It's a reality
Well,
TV
also
show.
sometimes they'll also tell you like, "Hey, we love this, we love that. Could you change this and that about your video?" Or like they'll have more time to like interact with you.
But that's because there's the lower level producers that are going to pitch your story to the executives.
Yeah,
and if they give the video in the first format you pass it along as, it may not be good enough, and they know those execs are going to say, "Nah, it's not what we're looking for.
Yep.
It's not good enough."
Not
so
enough drama.
If you get it to them early enough where they can add in and critique and say, "Hey, modify this a little bit," when they send it on, they can pitch you in a better way that represents you better and represents the story you're trying to tell. So that's what that little modification process is.
But if you're one of those if you're one of the 90% that does it the last couple of days, then unless you just post a really good video that they want to cast you, they like you, and they're like, hey, we want to do this person, then good luck.
Yep.
Good luck.
we'll do a little segment on like advice for people, because since it just opened up, people will start making their videos. They're gonna want to know like how do I get the best chance of, you know, getting selected?
Yeah,
You could tell your story on like your first time. Well, because you walked on, and then I know that's your story. My advice would be pretty simple. I could be wrong. Like, take everything I say with a grain of salt, and like if you take my advice and don't apply it, like sorry, like. But I think that for me, you got to be authentic, right? But you also have to have something about you that isn't just ninja, right? I think a lot of people are like, oh, I'm a ninja and I train ninja and I do ninja and I work at a ninja gym. Like, I don't find that exciting. I don't think they find that. I could be wrong. I don't think they find that exciting because it's not a story. Like, I think the appeal of ninja is, you know, back in the day, it was getting to see like teachers, firefighters, like people from all walks of life trying the same thing, and like kind of like that being the equalizer to everybody. Versus now it's become more of like, oh, like ninja's been my life for the past 20 years, and I train ninja, I work at a ninja gym, I do ninja camps, like ninja things, I own a ninja gym.
And they'll have a few of those stories, but that's only going to be 1% of the applicants.
Yeah, exactly. So if that's your story, I would say dig deeper, find out who you really are, talk about your backstories, anything you've gone through. You know,
at this point, most people that are applying are already super fit or fit enough to have the confidence.
Well, that's
apply.
actually the baseline, right? Like the baseline first is making sure you have the foundation and you're able to do certain things. But I think sometimes like that can be negated, right? So if you like can't do a salmon ladder, you can't get the warped wall, but you're very interesting, I think they'll pick you, because just for the story, I think they'll pick you.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a few, like, because if they did a whole show with that, it wouldn't be that interesting. But you still, I think, have a good chance. But if you have both, right, you can hold your own, and you're very interesting. You have a good story. And I'm trying to find examples, but honestly, you know, everybody's different. But things that make you stand out, things that make you who you are, because I think some people sometimes have a hard time of being like, oh, like I work a 9 to 5, like it's pretty simple, like wife and kids, like every story. You have to find something that is like dig deep, man. Maybe it's something that you forgot about, something that happened to you, like anything that they can play off of. I mean, I'll give the example for James, right? Wyatt. So he competed for a couple years, and then randomly, one of the years they wanted him back. I think the story they went with was one of the most random things that he put in his video, but he said he grew up kind of like on a farm, so they wanted to portray him as like, you know, kind of like a country like dude. They wanted to give him like a lasso and a cowboy hat.
So even though that's not his main thing in life,
yeah, but they kind of, it's TV. They pick and choose,
reality TV.
And anything
it's
that
caricatures. They want to accentuate it.
Anything you can give them that'll make them be able to play off of you as an interesting person is like that's the money right there. So give them choices, give them options. Don't just say, hey, my name's like
this is who I am, where I'm from,
this
what
is
I
where
do.
I work, this is like my wife, this is where I'm from, I do ninja on the side, please pick me. That's most of the time it's not going to work. But if you find little quirky things from your past, things like growing
and not
up
just
on a farm,
talking about it either, but like visually showing it. If you've got footage of your interesting hobby or habit or backstory, if you've got photos, adding those things in will really help.
Interesting video for sure.
Because that gives, and I'm getting this from an article that they just posted about it, like tips and tricks about it. So you guys get both. You can read the article, you can get our tips and tricks from our own personal life. But really, when it comes to sending in your video, I mean, it's like it's an audition. And if you've ever had to like sing a solo in front of a panel of judges in order to get a part or act a certain way to try to get a part for like a player production or something, there is an element of selling yourself. And so you want to show them or give them as much as you can, not just your ability to speak, but also your ability to have a good enough quality video that you have good lighting. They can see you speak on camera. Right. They visually see photos, videos of what does make your life interesting, that you are also physically fit enough to do this, and that you would benefit their TV show and not just receive all the benefit from being on it.
Yeah, that's a great reminder. I tell people it's 3 key things, and y'all have hit on all of those pieces. The first one, you have to show a base level of athleticism, but don't get lost on thinking, oh, I'm not as good as Daniel or Kid. They also choose different talent levels because they also are trying to plan out so that they'll have someone that fails on the second and the third and the fourth obstacle. It's hard to say, but it wouldn't be a good show for them if everyone could beat it.
Falling on the second or third obstacle, Nate?
Well, I've done it, so lots of things are wrong with it.
Gang.
But you need to showcase some level of athleticism and training, but a lot of the aspiring ninjas get lost in showing that as their entire story. And as Daniel's saying, you need some kind of niche. So then the second piece is to have an interesting hook or story, something about your life that isn't ninja. So my hook was, I did 2 years of applying with Getting Nowhere, basically talking about, hey.
You too?
What do you mean?
I definitely did not get accepted my first 2 years submitting.
No, just your first year, bro.
No, even my second year. My second year I had to do the walk-on line.
That was your first year.
Well, my first official year, but I technically could have competed the year prior. My birthday was on one of the competition dates.
Okay. I didn't think you had applied.
No, but then I chose to do course testing because of that.
I remember you testing there in Dallas. That was the first year I walked
Season
on.
6.
But my 2 applications fell flat. They called me back and talked a little bit, but they didn't go anywhere with it. But I didn't sell myself well, as Daniel was talking about. I didn't know how to communicate, and I focused all on athletics. So the third year, the shift for me was, all right, I know I'm athletic enough. Let's showcase that.
Was it with the Thor year?
I did the Thor from the beginning.
Thor?
I was doing Thor from the very beginning. Like my first 2 application videos. And when I walked on in 2015, I wore my Thor outfit. Emma, hi there.
It's not bad, bro. Honestly, I think that was a good move.
That really was.
You got the face for it.
It actually.
You really do.
They said it stood out. That was interesting. We like it. We want to use that. Oh, wait, we don't have the rights to Marvel characters. We can't use you. We're going to not show you on our episode.
Call you Captain Thunder.
So they had to scrub me. But they showed 2 other guys that were wearing like a Spartan type outfit.
Chris Hemsworth looks at you and he's like, this guy.
You are not worthy.
Well, you can't.
I was a little Russian, sorry.
I guess the way you dressed
not
up,
worthy.
you dressed up like as Thor from Marvel.
Yeah.
But if you dressed up as like Thor, they don't have rights to like that.
That's what I claimed. I had a hammer. It didn't have some kind of logo.
Yeah, but you had like the Thor outfit on. It was like
I think I did have a shirt that was.
It was literally like what he wears. Yeah.
I was like, it didn't work out.
Like, do we want Marvel suing us?
So I threw that out, and the next
we don't
year
want those problems.
I went differently. But the thing that gave me the hook the next year that legit worked, because anyone can kind of wear a costume, and that's worked for different guys. Yeah. Jesse Graff did the costume.
NBC did that too.
Captain NBC.
Yeah. I guess I got to say Captain, but I can't just say NBC.
That's right. Captain NBC, Jamie Ron did it. So there's little hooks that have gotten out. I think Who's Brent's?
But
Brent's
like I
wife,
think that's a good like example. Like Nate, you're like if we just pick the Thor thing, right? It's not. It's just like you kind of look like Chris Hemsworth, so you're like, you know what? We're kind of just gonna roll with this. You find something interesting, quirky, different. Because I think you're right. A lot of people get. I think one of the biggest probably mistakes, and I could be wrong, but I would assume the biggest mistake people make is they make it like a people are awesome kind of montage video, and it's just them doing cool ninja stuff.
Yep, that's
it.
what I did my first 2 years. It gets you nowhere.
Yeah,
they don't care.
You gotta have a little bit of both. You gotta have a little bit of that, but you also gotta have some family.
No matter how cool it is.
But the biggest piece, right? The biggest piece is having some kind of story hook. So the third year that I went, I cut out 90% of my athletics, and it was just like, hey, here's what I've been doing: overseas travel, mission work. That was very unique, especially for ninjas, because most of us are more grounded in the U.S. and local.
Yeah.
And so they're like, whoa, you've been doing this the whole time? I was like, yeah. They're like,
the biggest thing too, think after what you just said, something just came to mind, is if your videos like first 10 seconds suck, you're probably like, even if like your last minute is amazing, if your 10 seconds, first 30 seconds suck, you're probably gonna get looked over.
And let's define suck. It means if it falls flat, if it's boring,
if you don't have a hook, like they're just gonna start looking at their phone. They're gonna be like, they're not gonna pay attention to your video anymore because they're looking through thousands of these.
Exactly.
So if you don't capture their attention early on, doesn't matter if the last 2 minutes are amazing. I don't think it's gonna work.
So you're exactly right. If you don't come out of the gate, like if it's the first thing you do is like,
for sure.
Yo, what's up? I'm Nate. So excited to be part of Ninja Warrior. And then you lead from that.
That's what kid does every year.
Versus,
absolutely not.
Hey, I want to be on Ninja Warrior and da-da-da. If you don't hit them from the start,
I'm the kid.
then they're just,
welcome.
I mean, not everyone can be kid, right? He's like,
welcome.
Hey, y'all are all too young for this, but the Fonz back in the day.
I've heard that term.
Hey,
forget about it.
It was like Nick at Night on Nickelodeon back in the day. I used to watch it at my grandparents' house. There was this one super cool guy, this black leather jacket, and he'd be like, hey. He's like just super chill. He's like, kid. And he could do that. The rest of us, not going to work for me.
Not going to work.
I got to come in like guns blazing.
But that is, I might just do that. Hey,
you need to get yourself a nice leather jacket, though.
Oh, I have a nice leather jacket.
Oh, yeah.
I also have a nice other jacket.
Look him up, the Fonz.
The Fonz?
The Fonz.
Dude,
he was
pull that deal
he's
up.
a cult classic. That was back in the day.
Wow.
I thought Nick at Night was Nick Cannon. No?
No,
that's
that
way-
was like Nickelodeon.
Am I wrong? I don't know, bro.
I think Nick Cannon was on Disney, wasn't he?
What is it? What am I looking up?
That was
the
Nick.
Fonz?
The Fonz, F-O-N-Z-E.
I thought it was, I don't know why I thought that.
The Fonz. Hey, it's the first thing that popped up for me.
The Fonz.
Hey.
Oh, you want to play that in your microphone right now?
Absolutely not.
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to Nate.
Oh.
I definitely
Is it
wanna
this
play it.
guy? That guy's
Yeah,
not that
that's
cool,
him.
bro.
That's him. Bro, he was so cool back in the day.
Corporation. I'm gonna have to wear a tie, maybe. A lot of paperwork.
How long is this video, bro?
I should talk with a deeper voice.
It's a 5-minute video. Turn this off. Turn this off right now.
I was looking for the 3. Here we go. Here's a 3
Oh,
second.
yeah, 3
clip.
seconds. There we go. There we go.
Hey,
That's nice.
Hey,
He kind of, if you can pan over to him, Rock. He kind of looks like a discount guy
that's-
from Full House. What's his name?
Uncle Jesse,
He
yeah,
looks like a
Uncle Jesse.
discount Uncle Jesse.
John Stamos.
Yeah,
Dude, I love
Find
John
a better
Stamos.
picture. That looks like
I still love John Stamos.
almost looks like where he's at now. He used to be a lot younger.
This is
He used to be a lot younger.
I think that's how that works, bro.
It's my brainiac statement for the day.
He used to be a lot younger back in his younger days.
God.
I don't know if I can recover from that one. I was
you
thinking
got
is
it.
I think when he first got on the show, he was probably in his mid-20s, but that photo
okay.
looks like he's 45.
40. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
he does
for
look
real.
older. If you guys are wondering why we're like pointing to stuff because you're listening to a podcast, we are fully video now. We also post audio, obviously, on all the podcast platforms. But if you want to watch the podcast episodes, you can go to Kinda Nice or patreon.com/Kinda Nice, and we post the full episodes there. And then we also have an Instagram page called at Kinda
Kinda
Nice
Nice
Show.
Show?
I don't think there's I think it's just at Kinda Nice Show.
I think you might be right.
But we post clips there if you want to see kind of what the videos look like and get a taste for it. And then if you like what you see, go over to Patreon and then check out the full videos. I think honestly the full videos are really sweet. I enjoy watching them. It gives another element to the show. So if you guys, all right, we got to chill with the A's. There's too many. It's too many.
That was like my first one.
Yeah, but we've done like
it's
6.
done. It's
That's
over.
enough. But yeah, Patreon has been awesome. We get to interact with you guys a little more. So again, if you guys want to check out the full video episodes, patreon.com. I think we're gonna tentatively wrap this episode here.
Well, as we finish, talking about the show, like the deadline is open for over a month. So if you're thinking about it, start putting together your video collages. Start putting together. I personally write down like a script every year. So I'll write down, okay, what's 3 different stories that I can talk about to Ninja Warrior? Okay, what do I want to make sure my highlights of those stories are? What like photos and videos do I have? Sure. Exactly right.
Yeah,
because some people just sit down there like, hey, and they've got like these 3 ideas.
Nah. I just said we were done with that.
But it's Daniel now. You can't.
That's true. That was my one and done.
If you've seen Squid Games, you're now in the minority.
I haven't seen
minority.
Spoilers, bro.
You're gonna watch it?
You're just in the minority.
I'm watching
Daniel and I
right now.
We just took majority status.
We did. Wait.
So
have you seen it?
Yeah, I watched it.
I haven't seen it.
I just finished it yesterday.
Anyways.
Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been the Kinda Nice Podcast, episode 27. If you guys want to check out Nate on Instagram, it's No Limits Nate. And Daniel's Kingdom Ninja. I am
That's me.
Matisse_the kid. And then the show is at Kinda Nice Show. And if you guys want to check out the Patreon one more time, it's patreon.com/kinda nice. There's plenty of tiers.
Go check it out.
We're making merch soon. So if you want to be
the merch is so cool, guys.
Really
I can't wait.
We'll be making that this and next week. So if you want to guarantee yourself getting the merch, being a Patreon is the best way to do that. But thank you guys again for tuning in with us. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Sorry it was a little shorter than normal, but it is what it is. Hey.
I'm kinda nice with the gear, shout out my area code. I'm feeling nice with the drill, and I'm about to bury the flow. I'm about to make me a meal.